Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So in this one, we're taking a look at the new Datamine information that came with yesterday's patch. So new patch, we get a look at all the stuff that is going to be coming in the not too distant future. A lot of interesting stuff here about the new March season. And some changes to one of the cards we're seeing next season in February as well. So here we can see the art for the March season. We'd seen some stuff about what the season would be before, but now we have the splash art. So it's like 1 million BC Avengers. They're saying it's what if here. So I guess that could be a what if storyline, and we have a bunch of the cards here. The Battle Pass card for the month is going to be Agamotto, who is related to Doctor Strange. We don't fully know what this card does yet, but he is a start of the game card. Shuffle X amount of spells into your deck, and we have some of the images around those spells. We don't exactly know what they do yet. New cards. There are some pretty interesting new cards here. Some cards got changed. Cobra got changed. That card was painfully boring in its original form, but now it's a bit more interesting. 2/3 activate, switch an enemy card here that didn't start in your opponent's deck to your side. So yeah, kind of cool. And this could be relevant with things like Victoria Hand. You know, all that card generation stuff with demons, other card generated things. It can even work with Arsham cards. So I don't think this is going to be some crazy super popular card, but it is kind of a interesting niche spot. And this is one of those cards I would expect to be a free bonus reward through one of the limited time modes. I don't think this is one they'd put in spotlights. Then we have Esson, and I think this is probably the most interesting and exciting card of the bunch. 6/13 legendary. At the start of the game, if all your cards have different powers, give them +2. This seems really, really strong. I think they like giving the Celestials these big, powerful start of the game effects. And the big question mark is around this legendary tag. Now, they did just update start of the game to game start, but these aren't released cards yet, so I guess they're using the old templating until that gets updated. But legendary is the big one here, and this is something I could very much see Snap implementing if they're going to make more of these start of the game cards, because eventually you can get to a point where people just start jamming more and more of these powerful start of game effects into the same deck. We've already seen it with Thanos and Arsham. That hasn't been too game breaking, but it has been fairly strong. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these, big impactful characters with these strong start of the game effects get this legendary tag, which usually in other card games, that means you can only run one copy of the card. In Snap, that's not really relevant, but I imagine you'd only be able to run one legendary in your deck. So if, for example, they made Arsham a legendary, you wouldn't be able to run this card and Arsham in the same deck. This is still just Datamine stuff, though. We don't know if it's going to make it fully into the game or not, but it is interesting to see nonetheless. Then we have Firehair, 2/2. You can move this once. When this moves, revive one of your destroyed cards here. Pretty cool card. I feel like this works with these like Misery, sometimes Phoenix Force decks that are trying to destroy their stuff, and then you have another way to bring it back. And as we've seen before, just having the free built-in move once effect is usually pretty powerful, even on a understated body such as this one. We have Khonshu. We don't know what this does yet, but it is a 2/1. Redwing got a bit of a redesign. He is now a 3/3. The first time this moves, add a card from your hand to the old location. So a way to cheat something big into play, very different than what it was doing before, where it was like bouncing your 1-drops kind of like Falcon. Now it's doing its own thing, which is interesting. And we have Starbrand, 6/8 at the start of the game, +2 power for each card in your deck with 10 or more power. So seems like more Scar support, just a really big card for that kind of deck. Then we have Fan Fei. When you discard this, put it back, waxing, and get +1 energy next turn. Maybe this is related to Khonshu. I don't know the Moon Knight lore, but the waxing makes me think it's something related to the moon. We have Ghost, the First Rider. Don't know what this does yet, but it's currently a 2/4. And then we have a bunch of different costs and art for the spells from Agamotto. The Winds of Watum, Temporal Manipulation, Images of Icon, Bolts of Balthok, and Flames of Flatline. So a lot of differently costed things here. I'm curious to see what they end up doing with the spells. And we have some more placeholders here for different forms of Khonshu. We have Waxing and Full. They both currently say the same thing. When a card is destroyed, 10% chance to Hulk out. I don't think that card is going to Hulk out, but again, I don't know the lore there, so let me know in the comments if you are aware of that. Then we have some just text changes here. Game start is now the new text for start of the game. They update a lot of cards to have that. New locations. We have your cards here have +1 power for each ongoing among them. And then Madripoor, after each turn, give each highest cost card here +2 power. New game mode. So this is kind of exciting. We've been wanting a new game mode that's not just the two we've been having a bunch of. And it's called Location War, apparently. It's hard to tell exactly what there is, as there isn't much code or text, but it's looking like its first version will launch with a Doctor Strange themed version called Sanctum Showdown. There are 15 turns. Every turn a location is selected to be contested. The winner scores points. At the end of each turn, a card from each player's board on that contested location is removed from the game and placed back into the deck. So this could be kind of interesting, a new way to play the game. And given it is doing Doctor Strange themed things, I imagine this is something we'll see with the March season, but we'll have to wait and see. We got an update on the spotlights. Not much has changed here with the ones we know already for this month. And I don't think much has changed with the future ones as well. I think these are largely the same. We just have an idea of some more future ones here with Esson, Beta Ray Bill, and Wiccan in the first week of March. Then Starbrand, Scar, and Fastos, Firehawk, Cassandra Nova, and Nico, and Khonshu, Scorn, and Cersei. We got some new albums here as well that look pretty decent. I think the Negative Space one is pretty interesting. We have a new Conquest Debris, new Ultimate Black Widow, and a new Super Premium variant for the pass in March. Bunch of new variants here, a lot of cool stuff. Definitely looking forward to some of these. Some have dates, some don't. But if you want more information, you can check the link in the description. Shout out to SnapFan as always for getting this stuff together, because it's always very cool to see. And then we have a bunch of new bundles, so I'm going to try and go through these quickly. One trend I have noticed a lot of here is they are still trying to weave in more Series 4 and Series 5 card bundles. I'm guessing that is them trying to be like, hey, we're giving you an opportunity to get this card again because it's not coming back into Spotlights. However, unfortunately, most of these, I believe, are cash bundles. I don't think there are any gold ones, but we'll double check here. So we have a Rock Slide bundle. We have an Iron Man one. Big $100 Arsham bundle. We have a bunch of these dinosaur-themed ones, which are kind of cool. 1 million BC Scarlet Witch. More dinosaur stuff. There's a Sage bundle. Shuri bundle, million BC Lizard. Then we have another one where they're pairing 2 Series 5 cards together for $100, Scream and Cannonball. So it's good that they're doing more of these bundles, but like it kind of sucks that the vast majority of them are $50 to $100. It's just a bit absurdly priced, if you ask me. For obviously you get some other resources, but for really just the main things you're going after being the cards, it seems a bit steep to me. Wouldn't recommend personally. And then, yeah, a bunch of these smaller bundles, so not a whole lot on the bundle front. But worth keeping an eye out if these specific ones interest you. Again, link will be in the description if you want to check that out. But that's really all there is. You know, some good information. I think the cards look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how they implement this potential legendary tag, because Esson sounds really, really cool. I mean, Arsham was the best-selling card of all time, obviously a very controversial card, but I do think they have an incentive to make more of these really interesting, powerful, build-around, start-of-the-game type effects for these very, like, iconic characters or just very, like, big in-universe characters. And so I could definitely see them doing something with this legendary tag, because eventually, if you have too many of these things, it starts to get a little ridiculous. And also you have to think about how does this interact with Arsham. Like currently, if you don't know, we have like high Evo in Arsham, and the start of the game, which goes off first, is random. It's flipping a coin. So if you ran, let's say, Esson and Arsham in the same deck, if Esson goes off first, as long as your deck doesn't have duplicates with the same power, your deck will get that +2 power buff, and then Arsham will shuffle the cards in. It could go the other way. Arsham could shuffle first, and then that could obviously mess up the Esson, but I could see them wanting to avoid things like that for the future, and just making it a bit of a deck building rule where these powerful Celestials or just very powerful legendary characters can be the only legendary that they're allowing in your deck, and that could definitely help with potential balance issues as well. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you think about the new cards, the new data mines, all that stuff in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.